This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, leading the league in podcasting entertainment.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. This is the Fast Break Podcast. I am Sean Anderson, your host, and alongside me is Ricky Widmer.
Hey, guys.
And Dave Oster.
I'm still here.
Dave is still here. We got 4 straight weeks of Dave, and, we couldn't be more happier.
Is this 4? I was going to say 3.
I don't know. Who cares?
We lost count.
I've been here so many times, you guys just don't even keep track anymore.
Sure, that's it.
I think that might be it. I think we're just accepting that Dave will be here. Anyways, we're gonna jump in. We're gonna be talking about the Western Conference Finals. We're gonna talk about how the Thunder match up with the Warriors. Then we're gonna look into our crystal ball and try to predict the NBA lottery. And then we're gonna wrap it up with NBA coaching vacancies because coaches keep going left and right. I don't know what's happening here.
Well, I mean, and part of me feels like Bulls fans are like, why not us? Why can't we get like?
Because
why
of the
does
money.
Scott Skiles have to leave the Magic? Why can't Hoiberg leave the Bulls?
Because he just got here. God.
He's got
There
this.
are some people that believe he should leave, though. That's
are we
what
up to 6 teams?
I think so.
Yeah, something
Wow.
like that. Yeah, we'll get into that later on. Before we jump in, I do want to mention that we do have a Patreon page, and it is up and running. It's patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. You can go on there, check out our goals and rewards, and if you do want to support us in a special way, go out and check us out on Patreon. Again, patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. If you are interested in the podcast we put out right now, you might be interested in the Patreon exclusive podcast that does change every week. And right now, this month, we do have me, Ricky, and Dave all on the podcast, and we kind of shoot the shit for over an hour, and it was pretty fun to listen to and pretty fun to actually record. So if that does interest you, you could check us out at patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. But we're going to jump into the Western Conference Finals. The Thunder, not surprisingly in my mind, because I thought they had it in them, but
Kind of surprisingly. I'm going to say surprisingly.
well, the Spurs were my favorite to win it, and I was like, oh, the Spurs are
I feel
so
like
good.
we handed it over to the Spurs like midway through the series, too.
I think we handed it over to the Spurs
as soon
midway.
as they got LaMarcus Aldridge.
Yeah, midway during the season where I said, yeah, I think the Spurs are going to win it all. So I don't know. I mean, it was surprising that they won not only in, just one, but also they won in 6, and they looked dominant. They looked fantastic.
It was a weird roller coaster of a series, too, because, I mean, that game 1 where they absolutely got shit on. I mean, OKC just took it, and it was bizarre. I was like, oh, man, this is over. Like, I can't wait to get to the finals. And then all of a sudden, it was like, game after game, they just kept pressing, and it was fantastic because they kept getting better.
Well, for me, what it was early on in the series in game like 1 and 2, and even before the series, everyone was saying, oh, well, what the Spurs are going to do is they're going to use their bigs of Duncan and West and Aldridge and just focus on that weakness of the Thunder, and Thunder ain't going to find it, and the Spurs are just going to chip away at that weakness. Well, then the stash came out, and Steven Adams and Cantor, and Adams was like, no, I'm shutting the door on you. I'm going to be effective for the Thunder. And I'm going to say, I know Westbrook and KD have been great, but without Adams, they don't even get past the Spurs.
Well, I don't think anyone's arguing with that. I don't think anyone's arguing that Westbrook and Durant can't do this alone. I mean, we've seen this before, and we've seen this also like when LeBron used to be in Cleveland. Like, he couldn't do it by himself. He needed that extra help. And obviously, with KD's a phenomenal guy, but also he's getting guarded by Kawhi Leonard. So obviously there's going to be times where KD's going to be silenced because Kawhi's the best defender in the NBA. So, I mean, I look at that, and you obviously need help. And Adams and Cantor, when they acquired Cantor, I believe it was last trade deadline, people were kind of questioning it. But now he finally found his offensive side. And, Cantor's more the offensive guy there, and then Adams is that defensive guru there. And, I mean, they pair phenomenally, and those are the Twin Towers down there. I mean, they look fantastic. And now looking at the Warriors, do you think the Warriors have the bigs to really stop those two?
Yeah, I mean, with me, the guy I would look at, the guy who's going to be the wild card for the Warriors, and I know Dave hates him, but it's going to be Draymond Green. He's going to be the key for this series because kind of like how you said Kawhi shut down Kevin Durant because he's the best defensive player in the series.
Right.
Well, Draymond's on the other side of it. Defensively for the Thunder, he gives them an option where it's like, okay, who are we going to put on him and who's going to guard him? Because I feel like you can't look at Draymond and go, okay, KD, get him every single time.
But also, I mean, can Draymond cover a guy like, Steven Adams isn't effective from the offensive side, so you don't really need to you can put Bogut on him. But can he shut down a Cantor who's 6'11"? I mean,
I think they may even put Draymond on Westbrook for a little bit.
There's no way Draymond can keep up with Westbrook.
Not
There's
like
no way.
one-on-one each
Westbrook
and every time.
absolutely destroyed the Spurs because of his athleticism. There's no, I mean, Draymond's athletic.
They're going to throw different.
wrong.
What I'm saying is they're going to throw different looks at Westbrook. And I wouldn't be surprised if a couple times, okay, Draymond, because of his athleticism and his defense, hey, give him a different look. Let's give him a big guy right now. See what he
He'll
does
blow
there.
right past him.
I wouldn't say he'd blow right past him.
Would.
But
Westbrook is so undervalued by you.
Because we all know the Warriors aren't going to say, okay, Steph, you get Westbrook
It's
every
Clay.
single time.
No,
Yeah.
they're going to have to trade off with Clay because, I mean, you got to keep Steph fresh, and you put your one on there too. And it's like the wear. What's worth it for you? If you put Clay on him, you might get it's a closer matchup, but at the same time, you have a fresh Steph on the other side of the court. It's like with Jordan. Jordan never played one-on-one with the best offensive weapon.
Unless you pissed him off and he's like, fuck it, I'm taking this kid
he tells
to school.
Sky to move over.
Yeah.
The one thing I look at, though, I mean, you're talking about who's going to guard Westbrook, but they've done a good job in the three matchups this season of guarding him. The guy they can't guard is KD.
Right.
KD put up 40, 37, and 32. His lowest scoring output was 32 in the three matchups. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Well,
how are they going to stop him? Can Barnes keep up with him?
No. It's proven.
I think that's,
They're going to have to get creative on defense. I think they're going to end up swinging Draymond over.
I was
help
just
out.
going to say Draymond.
They absolutely have to.
And they could put Draymond like the times where he's not, because you got to give Westbrook different looks, but it's going to turn into, okay, Draymond. It's going to be Draymond,
Using
KD.
him differently on defense. I think you're right.
I
He's
feel
the X
like when we
factor.
get to the third game, though, it's going to be Draymond versus KD, mano-y-mano, because Barnes ain't going to be able to handle KD. And the thing with this Thunder team, it was kind of funny. The one game they lost against the Mavericks, everyone's like, oh, well, KD can't hit a shot in that game, missed a ton. And it's like ever since, this Thunder team had said, hey, fuck you guys.
Yeah, and I think even on top of that, just as far as this offensive dynamic goes, seeing Westbrook change into, he tried to go pass heavy. He's trying to get the ball moving more because he's starting to realize, and I don't know if he totally accepts it, but he's starting to realize that when he shoots the ball more, chances of winning doesn't go up with it. It goes down. So maybe he's taking a little bit better criticism there and moving the ball around to some of these other guys.
You mentioned that about Westbrook. The one game where I think everyone sticks out between these two was the game where Steph hit the game winner from half court where they won 121-118 in overtime. Russ went 0 for 6 from 3, so I mean, obviously he needs to hold back from there. And if he took 6 of those shots inside the arc, then that would have changed that game completely. So I mean, looking at this, Westbrook is going to need to just be smarter with the ball and be able to know what time to shoot, because he was still effective in that game and he scored 26 points. KD scored 37. Your boy Ibaka scored 15, but they really couldn't keep up with Steph's output of 46 and Clay's output of 32.
And that's going to be the thing. Clay and Steph, if they can be vintage Clay and Steph, it's going to be which Batman and Robin are better. The ones from OKC or the ones from the Golden City.
And even in that game, too, I mean, Draymond went 0 for 8 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3. He was
almost a non-factor.
Well, he wasn't, though, because he had 14 rebounds and 14 assists, so he was still getting it done with that versatility. Almost. He was ineffective shooting. But still, I mean, looking at this team, the Thunder can do it, but, I mean, they still went 0-3 against the Warriors in the regular season.
But the 0-3 didn't have their dynamic duo down low with Cantor and Adams. They played very little together during the regular season. So now that they've kind of emerged as this dynamic duo, and one kind of covers up for each other's shortcomings, Cantor with the offense and Adams with the defense.
Well, and that's the perfect reason why I feel like in this series, yes, the Warriors have done for 2 straight series, win 2, lose 1, win 2, but this one's going to 6 or 7. This series is going to be a hard-fought series, and I'm just going to go ahead and say it, Warriors in 6.
I think it's going to go to 7, but I think the Warriors are still going to win. I think this Warriors team just is too much, and I think Steph is just too much. I mean, I know Westbrook is fantastic on defense, but I mean, this is Steph fucking Curry. I mean, this is the best player in the NBA. I don't care if it's
the MVP, the unanimous MVP.
And I don't care if this is like the best player in a soft NBA. He's still playing in the NBA, and he's still the best player in the NBA. So whether it's a soft NBA, whether it's the Jordan NBA, he's still a phenomenal player, and I don't care what you say. What era he's playing.
Necessarily soft. It's basically the way I see it is he's the best player in the you can't hand check NBA.
Soft.
It's this NBA.
I don't give it.
We want that athleticism. We want that shooting. And we like offense. We don't like defense anymore.
If he was in the NBA in the 90s, he could still stand 40 feet from the basket and take a jump shot and make it. Right. It doesn't matter if it's this NBA or the other NBA, because Jordan can't come out and like forearm him in the face. He's still going to get called on a foul.
Yeah, but he'd still lose out on all his athleticism, quickness to the hole. That's a big part of his game that people underrate.
True, but I mean, he's still got the shooting aspect. But
either way, I'm going miracle upset here. I think OKC is going to win the series in 7. I think they're going to go with the hardest possible playoff route in history. Like, I don't know any other team who's going to beat a 67-win team, a 73-win team, and they go to the championship against the Cavs. I think it's going to be ridiculous. I just like
how Dave just completely wrote off the Heat or the Raptors at this point.
Those teams don't fucking matter.
That, and I also like he completely wrote off Dirk. Come on, man.
If you want to call that a series, you can call that a series.
Dude, Hall of Famer Dirk Nowitzki.
He was.
Yeah,
Dirk represents.
Don't put on some condescending tone there. Dirk is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. But anyway, I didn't mean no. I mean, come on, it's Dirkalicious.
I'm sorry. Up to this point, I've cursed damn near every team that I've talked about.
We already lost our Minnesota fanhood. Everyone in Minnesota
because we don't
hates
watch
us.
Them.
Minnesota
hates us. So we already lost Minnesota. We don't
do you even watch them?
Yeah, we don't even need to lose Dallas,
which hurts because I'm a purple people eater. I'm being shunned by my own people, but
that's unfortunate. No,
the way I see this series mapping out is here's what's going to happen. Ricky prediction time.
All right, bold predictions.
Warriors are going to take the first 2. Shocker, they're in the Oracle. Then we're going to come back to OKC. Just like in Warrior fashion this postseason, they lose Game 3. The Thunder will have enough momentum from that Game 3 to win Game 4. We go 2-2 back to the Oracle. The Oracle is packed. It's like so loud. The Warriors win. And then Game 6, the Thunder are basically... It's a tough game, but Steph Curry shows up. Miraculous 3 to win the game, and they move to the finals.
I'm going to take just the Warriors winning in a hard fought. I think it's going to come down to Game 7, and I think it's going to come down to a buzzer beater. I think KD's going to come out, and KD's going to be MVP KD when he won the MVP. I think he's going to be ridiculous. I mean, his lowest output against the Warriors was 32 points. I don't think Harrison Barnes can keep up with him. I don't think anyone on this team for the Warriors can keep up with them defensively. I think KD's going to dominate this matchup because I think Draymond's a fantastic defender, but I don't think he has the athleticism to keep up with KD. And KD's just so long, it's unfair. So I think KD's just going to bully it, and I think that he's going to win 3 games by himself at least. And I think the Thunder can push it. I don't think Dave's too far off by saying
I respectfully disagree with you, Ricky. I don't think that the Thunder are going to get rolled over the way you're making them out to be, because think about this. This is a hot team. They're a healthy team.
Well, I'm just saying.
And they've got everything coming up green at the right time for them. Meanwhile, you've got a team over there in Golden State where lingering injuries, and they've played a lot of minutes with the wrong guys out there. Think about it. Sean Livingston's played more minutes this year already than he's used to.
Well, I'm not saying they're going to get like bullied over in the first 2 games. I'm just saying the Warriors are going to win the first 2 at the Oracle, and then down 0-2, the Thunder are going to be like, fuck it. We got if we lose this game, we're done because we're not coming back.
Look at the regular season, though. Every game was so close. It was down to the line.
And I'm not saying it's not going to be like that.
And that was 100% versus 100%. And now OKC's taken it to another level.
I'm just saying.
And I don't think Golden State has evolved that much since then.
At the Oracle, until I am proven otherwise, I'm fucking giving it to
Boston Celtics.
Giving it to
beat them in the Oracle.
Boston Celtics.
No, I'm talking in the playoffs. In the playoffs, they have yet to lose in the Oracle. So I'm going to give it to them.
They played the fucking Rockets.
So?
Woo!
I mean,
hard.
So? I mean, look at the series against the Trailblazers. Yeah, the Trailblazers played them tough. I know they're nothing like the Thunder, but they played them tough, and still the Warriors said, "Get out of here, little Lillard." I love Lillard, but I hate that I have to say that.
Lillard's great, but also you're going up against 2 of the top 5 players in the NBA, and Russell Westbrook.
And I'm not saying that. Like I said, I'm not saying that the Warriors are going to come and win by 30 game 1. I'm just saying they're going to win at the Oracle because they're going to protect their home court. And the Thunder are going to protect their home court until Game 6.
Look, no disrespect to the Trailblazers, but They tried to play guard for guard with Golden State. You're not going to win that matchup.
They almost did, though. That was the miraculous
No, they didn't
thing.
almost win that matchup.
Look at the score. They were in every single game.
They did not almost win that matchup. They kept in it because of Steph's health. There's a difference between that and trying to play CJ and Lillard versus Clay and Steph. Huge difference.
What was the other plan, though, for Portland?
No,
They had
that's what I'm
nothing
saying.
else
Is
that they could have done.
OKC is a different matchup, and that's why it's going to give them a problem. OKC has different dynamics. Their team is completely laid out differently. I mean, we haven't even talked about Serge Ibaka this entire time as a defensive presence.
Once.
Well, I just did that because you hate Ibaka. I mean, Ibaka, if he can be effective shooting, I think that's going to be different because obviously he's great at stuffing the lane. I think Ibaka can be fantastic when it's going up against Draymond, at least when Draymond's going down low. I think Draymond can still beat him athletically just because of Draymond's athletic abilities and versatility. But I think the thing that Dave mentioned that really sticks out is the lingering issues. If Steph goes down, the Warriors are screwed. I don't care. I know how great Clay is. I know how great Draymond is. I know how great Iguodala can be. I know how great Barnes can be. But you will not win this series if Steph can't stay healthy. But the thing is, you saw the difference that Steph is. And you mentioned, going guard against guard for the Warriors. They did guard against guard in overtime when one of those games was close. Steph put up 17 in overtime.
The best thing about this Warriors team and the reason why they are the closest thing right now that we will ever see to the 90s Bulls that I know me and Dave we all loved it is because they've overcome adversity. Steph goes down, doesn't matter. We lost game 3 against the Rockets. We were supposed to sweep them. They come back. They handle the Trailblazers until Steph comes back. Livingston gets kicked out, and Curry's like, well, fuck it. I'm on one leg, but I'm going to put the team on my back, and I'm going to score 17 in overtime.
I'm sorry. I was not to say I'm not overly impressed. I'm not really that impressed by what they've done so far in this playoffs. They beat down 2 mediocre teams, and compared to OKC, who went who took it to 6. I'm sorry, I almost said 7 with San Antonio. That's a real series. That's the best teams matching up, and Golden State is a tier above San Antonio, and I understand that. But still, when you have OKC come in there and just do work, take them to 6, and they outshined them. They wore down all the bigs from San Antonio. Kawhi obviously was shown wearing down over the series. His offensive ability at home wasn't showing. Tim Duncan was a non-factor till the end. They proved themselves in this playoff run against one of the best teams already. Golden State hasn't done that. Golden State's beaten down 2 okay teams.
I can see the Rockets, but the Trailblazers, they are no pushover. They are no pushover to do what they did against the Clippers and then come in and go toe-to-toe with the Warriors to where
with the injured Warriors.
There are experts that have said, this is the most exciting 4-1 series that I've ever seen.
Okay, but the Portland or the Trailblazers are kind of like the Pistons, where it was an exciting matchup, but they're still pieces away. I mean, Portland didn't have a shot.
The thing that's different totally about that is the Trailblazers led at halftime and led in the games more than Detroit had led over the Cavaliers.
Well, that's one of the things we got to worry about with OKC is giving up leads in the 4th. That's like kryptonite for them, and I've got some serious fears about that.
The one thing I want to mention, though, is when the Spurs beat the Warriors, I think it was when it was at San Antonio, they won 88-79 or 89-78 or something like that. The thing that they did well was switching on the pick and roll and having a big just get in Steph's face beyond the arc. I think that the Thunder can do that and will take pieces from there and put Adams out there and at least make Steph drive here. I think that the Thunder have enough versatility in their offense, and I think the big men are going to provide such a discrepancy that this is going to 7 no matter what. And I think just because we haven't seen a team like the Warriors before, I think that's just what's going to give the Warriors an edge. But again, I'm not too set on that the Warriors are going to win. I think the Thunder can do this.
Well, I'm not saying that, the Thunder are immediately done. I'm saying I think the Warriors are going to win it, but you just go back to the point that I made at the very beginning of our podcast. Who's the key piece for the Warriors in this season? Draymond Green. He's the one in this series because they're going to get a hand up on Steph. They're going to get in Klay Thompson's face. What's Draymond going to do? That's the key for the Warriors.
I think the key's more just Steph, and it's weird saying that the MVP is the key, but I mean, he's the MVP for a reason. He's the most valuable player.
Is he? Because LeBron thinks that he should be the MVP.
He's the most valuable player. I mean, looking at him, when he's healthy, this team is just worlds different. I mean, this team is, way more dynamic. I mean, this team has a guy who can just score at will. So looking at this team, I mean, Steph's going to be the X factor as long as he stays healthy. I mean, if he stays healthy, then the Warriors are going to win. Whether it's in 6, 7, 4, or 5, I don't care. The Warriors are going to win if Steph is healthy. But again, that's a big lingering issue if Steph can be healthy, because he got injured twice already in the playoffs.
The big concern I have for OKC, not only the fourth quarter thing, but if Steph draws Russell Westbrook into a big dick contest with shots, we're just fucked. OKC is going to lose that, because I can see it going to Westbrook's head. He's like, oh, he made a 3? I'll take a 3. He made a 3? I'll take it. He'll try to go shot for shot if he doesn't keep his maturity level up and his basketball IQ up. I'm
going to bring an example from Dave. You'll be happy to hear that I finally did watch this magic moment last night. And you just saying that made me think of a microcosm in that 30 for 30, where it was Shaq Olajuwon, and Shaq was like, I couldn't get in his head. I'd make a shot, and Olajuwon would be like, good post move, would have went to the middle. And it's like, he's like, he was in my head before I even got in his head. Steph, I know Steph isn't like a Reggie Miller, I'm going to trash talk you kind of a guy, but Russell Westbrook could be the guy that is easily invoked into, like Dave said, big dick contest. Let's see who's bigger.
I think that West could do that, but I think ultimately, I think just Steph is gonna win whether he's getting in someone's head or not. I mean, Steph is just gonna be more effective here. I think that the Warriors are gonna win in 7, like I said. I mean, you're saying Warriors in 6 though?
Yeah.
Did we persuade you?
No.
Say 7.
The way I see it is, like I said, 2-2 series after 4 teams winning in their home stadiums. Game 5 in the Oracle, Warriors win that game and then close it out because they don't want to come back to the Oracle.
And Dave's going Thunder in 7. I do just want to say one thing. The biggest key for the Thunder getting here is Billy Donovan. Fuck you, Scotty Brooks.